mistaken version. This is technically not a sequel to the movie 300. It's more of a parallel story taking place at the same time. I just thought I should let you know that. Let's jump into the review. Hey there guys, how are you? So just to let you in on a little secret, I almost did the intro to this video. I was gonna wear this as like my Spartan cape. Yeah, it's a bath towel, airbrush my abs in, cover myself in baby oil, but I was scared someone would walk in and like smell the baby oil and it'd get awkward. Okay, I don't need this any longer. So 300 Rise of an Empire. Now before I jump into this review, I want to first mention I'm a huge fan of the original 300 movie. Stylistically, tonally, visually, it was impressive, immersive, you bought into it. It was something new, something fresh, and the violence in that movie. It was carried along by likable, interesting warriors, known as Spartans, and King Leonidas was the biggest badass of all of them.
This is Sparta!
I mean, to sum it up, that movie was epic testosterone, stylistic badassery. It just made me want to do this. Now, before I dive into the actors and what this movie's all about, let's first talk about the visual style of this movie compared to 300. It's exactly the same. The end. And also, if you're a fan of slow-mo battle sequences, this movie definitely won't let you down. And all the CGI blood just squirts out. If you cut the slow-mo out of this movie, you probably cut the runtime in half. And I'm not complaining. I love to see slow-mo brutality. That's pretty fucking awesome. But the problem I had with this movie wasn't with the violence or brutality, because that was all there and cool to watch. It was the build-up getting to it. It wasn't quite worth the payoff sometimes. What I'm basically saying is the first 300 movie built up your suspense as a viewer more than this movie. Everything that happens before these big epic battle sequences, it just kind of feels a little bit dwindling. It's just like, we're just going through the motion so we can have a battle slow-mo sequence. Okay, let's talk about our hero of the movie, the character Themistocles, a badass sword-dueling general of the naval fleet. And every time this guy was in battle, he knew what he was doing. I was like, that is a hero, that is a warrior. But every time the guy stopped swinging his sword around, I was like, this guy's pretty fucking dull. He's the most generic, bland representation of a hero you could come up with. And it's almost like they went out of their way to make this guy as dull as they possibly could. So every time, yeah, the sword wasn't going or blood wasn't flying, I was like, I don't care about this dude. And I'm not saying the actor who played Themistocles in this movie is a bad actor. It seemed like he did everything he possibly could with the material that the writers gave him. Now let's talk about one of my favorite parts of this movie, and that is Eva Green, who plays the main villainous bad chick in this movie. Very seductive, very sexy, and by the way guys, if you're a fan of Eva Green, you like to look at her, I recommend you go see this movie in 3D because you will not be let down. 2 thumbs up. And Eva Green's character in this movie is the main villain. You might be thinking Xerxes is the main villain. Kind of, sort of, but he kind of takes a sidestep and she takes over. When I first started watching the movie, I wasn't really into her character, but as the movie progressed, you got more of her backstory and I started to buy into her, why she is like she is. She's a little bit complex and I liked that. She was probably one of the best things about the movie. Yeah, so those are your 2 main characters of the movie, the only ones that matter, because by the end of the movie, you have side characters that don't really matter in any way. There's scenes where they try to make you care, but it really doesn't matter 10 minutes later what they did. So yeah, those 2 main characters, that's what carries the entire movie. Everything else is just there, it's in the background. I would say that's my complaint with the movie, because with the first original movie 300, you know, you liked King Leonidas, you liked the side characters, you liked the men who supported him. They all were interesting, they stood out. They had personalities that mattered in the beginning of the movie, and they mattered by the end of the movie. They weren't just there for filler. But in this movie, essentially every side character is filler. But in all fairness, on a less critical standpoint, this movie's not all about character development. I mean, sure, they attempted at some points in this movie, but it's about the brutality, it's about the violence, it's about the blood. And do you get all of those things? Yeah. But the one question you have to ask yourself is, will you remember these things a year from now? And to be honest with you, I don't think I will. There's scenes in the first 300 movie that were set up so well, that paid off so well, they gave you that build-up you needed to make it memorable. And in this movie, a lot of things happen, but it kind of gets a little bit messy throughout, and you're just like, that happened, but I don't remember what just happened. So 300, Rise of an Empire, is it better than its counterpart 300 that came before it? I would say not even close. Is it entertaining? Yes. It has more brutality, but with less meaning and buildup. Visually, it's fun to look at. It earns that rated R rating, but you just don't care about anything or anyone in the movie, or at least I didn't. And for that, I'm going to give the movie a C+. Okay guys, that's my review, and here's my question to you. Let me know what you thought of the movie down below, or let me know what your favorite epic battle movie of all time is. If I had to pick one, I'm gonna go with Gladiator. My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, father to a dead son, husband to a dead wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life and the next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.